Hi, everybody. uh, I'm Racer Andy, and thanks for joining us on the stream. We are getting ready to have the last race of the day, which is the GT cars. There's your pace car leading the pack. So, there's your ground pounders. And that's a heck of a field. Look at these. This is a pretty good sized group of guys, man. We got a big old race on our hands here. All right. So you see there's every variety of different type of GT cars, and I think some of them are spec Corvettes, and there's your leader. Look at this, too wide. Too wide all the way through 5, man. That is not a super wide racetrack, man. I mean, you can see how wide that road is, and those guys are coming through there too wide, little ways down into the pack, making their way through turn 7 and up through 8 and 9. They are flying, man. Here's your leader. It looks like he's pulling out a pretty handy lead. Look at this one. Look at these two. Look how close they are. Yeah, man. You might have to turn your volume down. There you see them making their way through turn 10 and 11, or I'm sorry, through 8 and 9 and headed up towards the tower turn, and then I'll show you there. There's that tower. There's the, you see that when you're on the racetrack, you can see the tower. Here's your leader coming through. Get back to that race for second and third. Okay, so that should be interesting because those guys are. That green car is a Viper, man. Let me tell you, that thing is scary looking. Whoa, did you catch that? Big old baby Grand is putting a wheel right up on the curving, man. Look how close these two are. A couple of Corvettes just having a big old argument over who's going to go first, man. Yeah. Boy, this is exciting. These guys are just... This looks like this feller had a little bit of trouble. I think he might have spun out. I'm not sure, but it looked like he was just getting started back again. So now we got some racing going on, man. This is cool. These two, they're paddocked together. You know, they at least know one another because they're paddocked together. close these two are. Yeah, man. Look how close these guys are. Alright, we got a couple of races down to the field, man. Here comes your leader. We're watching, see if we can check second and third out. And like I say, those two are paddock together, so they know each other. Here comes your fourth overall, which is a Green Viper. Whoa. Yeah, man. Whoops. We had the little Mustang left the surface. He left the racing surface. That sounded crazy. Look at these two Corvettes, man. They're just lap after lap, man. No, there's your leader, and he's definitely coming up on the back of the pack. So here's the two Toyotas. Those guys are second and third overall. And the Dodge is clearly pulled away from the rest of these guys. These three are close. All right, look how close these guys are, man. Having a good race. Here's the two Corvettes, man. I can smell the racing fuel. Those things don't run on pump gas. Lamborghini. And you see, like I say, that Dodge Viper. I went and looked at that car in the paddock, and I told the guy, I said, man, this thing's a monster, you know? And he's like, yep. That's a little white Mustang seems to have righted himself. Woo! Right up on the curbing. That big old Grand National, man. We call those things baby grands. It's a Grand National car that's been refitted so it's safe to race and road racing. Guys are staying in touch pretty close, so there's your leader, and he's trying to make his way past the black marker there. You see him going around the outside as he makes his way into Big Bend, and here comes second and third. You see they've got a bit of a gap. So Alex Meyer is, that's your first placed car, is look at this. Coming in hot. Look how close those guys are, man. I think you might see some opportunity for a pass coming up there. And so we're about halfway through. We're 17 minutes into this 35-minute feature. These guys are keeping it clean, man. Got a nice clean race going on here. Look at this pack, man. Yeah. These guys are having a great race, man. There's a whole pack of them. Just jumping off the curb. What a pretty race car, man. And those guys are starting to tighten up a little bit, man. They're starting to close in on each other. Yeah, they got a race going on there, man. They're a little past half distance and they're already kind of squabbling over who's going to end up taking that position. There's a big old pack. And here comes overall second and third. Nice slide. That's why he's in front, man. Because he's willing to push that car. You could see the front wheels just trying to bite, man, and probably a little bit of a throttle gets the whole thing turning. Yeah, man. Here's one of those GTXs, man. It's like a prototype that you would see in Le Mans. Look how close these two are, man. We're waiting to see what happens there, man. See if the Porsche makes his way around. Little Audi. Premium. Yeah, man. So thanks everybody for joining us. This is Racer Andy. And we are bringing you Central Florida region winter vacation. This is how, this is how we have a winter vacation here in Florida. We go to the racetrack. And I think you should come down here and join us next year. So this is the 46th annual winter vacation by Central Florida Region Sports Car Club of America. This is the greatest amateur racing that you will find in North America. Okay, look at these. This is I believe that's your leader, and I could be wrong about that. Yep, because here comes second and third, and he's making his way around. They just got caught up in the middle of that big old pile of cars. Yeah, you can just sort of see him come popping out of 4, man. There's your leader. And second and third overall were making their way through this big old batch of cars. Look, they're still passing them. Ooh, and we're both going to go by. So if you want to stay in touch, you better keep up. So they decided to both go by the lap car. Here comes the Dodge Vipers moving up on some of the slower guys as well. So thanks for joining us, everybody. This is our last group of the weekend. And we haven't had the greatest luck with the satellite. Our satellite connection has not been so great, and so we've had a lot of trouble with the stream going up and down all over the place. But we've got some folks are watching the stream. We appreciate you. We encourage you to these two cars seem pretty evenly matched. We encourage you to subscribe to the channel and give us a thumbs up and all that stuff. I believe this is your leader. And he is picking them up and putting them down. And there's a back marker, and you should be seeing that there's second and third, and they have swapped places. And I'm sure that was not the outcome they were thinking. Was those two they're paddocked together, so look at this group, man. Look how close these three are. A couple of Corvettes. Here comes the Viper, man. He's like, nah, 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 nah. Yeah, man, look at this. There's a whole bunch of racing going on all the way down through the field. Yeah, like I say, from this spot, I can sort of just see him pop out of turn 4, man. It's pretty cool. Try and get everybody some camera time here, man. If you're a racer in the Central Florida region, man, get a hold of us. Because we probably got some cool video clips of your car on track, man. Like that. So, like I say, if you're a Central Florida region competitor, get a hold of us and we'll send you some pictures or some cool videos. And you can use them copyright free. Come on, dude. There you go. Using the whole racetrack there, just you can see that. Here comes your leader. And he is cooking. He's pulled himself out a pretty substantial lead over overall second and third place. And those, there they are, and that's second and third. And they have swapped positions from how they started. And they are staying very close in touch with each other, so I think there's some bragging rights going on there, man. you know, to get home and tell all our buddies. About who's fastest. Yeah, man. These guys are flying through here. Oops, the Audi had a little snafu there, and he ended up all the way out near the curbing. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. Hey, buddy. You like to wave at the racers. So we'd like to thank y'all for tuning in. This is Racer Andy, and I'm from myracedata.com. We're going to be out here next month on the 7th and 8th of February 2026. It's they call that the Central Florida Region Cabin Fever Race. So, like I say, if you're an up north racer and you're getting cabin fever, come on down here to Florida and race with us. And we race in January and February, and I mean, look at what a beautiful day it is. It's in the 80s, and there's the tower, and there's the stars and bars, man. So we appreciate everybody tuning in. Here come the last of your class winners. Getting to take a victory lap with their checkered flag, and like I say, come back and join us for the February Cabin Fever race here in Central Florida region of the Sports Car Club of America. This is Racer Andy, and thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks everybody for watching.